Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tony, this is the 15-Minute Gamer, and today we're taking the helm aboard Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown demo. This one's part of Steam Next Fest, so there's loads of demos to try out. It's obviously free right now, full game pricing hasn't been confirmed, but if I had to guess, probably around about the mid-20s mark. Before we dive in, if you fancy grabbing yourself a Pimax VR headset, some new games, or just protecting yourself online, check the links in the description below. I've dropped my Pimax, Greenman Gaming and NordVPN affiliate links down there. Using them supports the channel massively. So what is the story hook here? Well, Voyager Across the Unknown is basically a what-if survival strategy game. You're in command of the U.S.S. Voyager after it's been yanked into the Delta Quadrant by the caretaker. But here's where it gets interesting. This time, you decide what happens. You can diverge from canon, make different calls, shape your own version of the Voyager story. In this demo, you're exploring the first sector of the journey, repairing your ship, managing resources, exploring new quadrants, and occasionally blasting a few aliens out the sky. It's survival meets strategy setup with a bit of narrative flavour. Choices matter, crew relationships matter, and things don't always go as fans expect. You'll spend a lot of your time managing ship systems. Think a little bit like Fallout Shelter. It's all shown on an LCOS style diagram where you repair damage, allocate power and upgrade subsystems. You'll be constantly asking yourself, do I fix the warp core first, get some shields, keep your crew fed, put some beds down for them? And I'll say this, I actually liked that sense of pressure. Every decision felt like it mattered, and you get that satisfying feeling of progression when things finally start working again. But it's not all warp speed. Some of the upgrades felt a bit shallow, there's not enough meaningful options, and the feedback on what's actually important can be super vague. The damage pacing is pretty gentle, which makes me think in the full game they need to ramp this up a lot more to keep things interesting. Next up is exploration. You plot courses through the Delta Quadrant, hop between anomalies, scan resources, and decide whether to explore or avoid strange signals. The idea is great, and honestly, the sense of discovery is pretty solid, but the pacing, it's a bit slow. And just one thing I ask, when I go to warp to go to the next sector, I want a proper warp animation. It's totally jank. Just a little whoosh would go a long way here. Away missions kind of play out like a board game. You pick which crew members go, what gear they take, and then you make decisions that can succeed or fail depending on their stats. It's a neat concept, I guess, and I love that each character has a role: science, engineering, diplomacy, but it is very bare bones right now. And here's the big one for this whole setup with the story and the characters. There are zero voice acting going on, just endless text boxes of going click, next, until your finger starts to hurt. It really kills the atmosphere of the game, and to make it worse, the writing isn't great at all, I didn't think. It's clunky, it's repetitive, the way they talk isn't how them characters really spoke to each other, or I didn't feel anyway, because there's no emotion attached there. This whole part felt weirdly mobile game-ish. And it's all presented kind of like in the comic book style. So you'll have the thing going on, then like a still frame of what's happening. You'll make a decision, then another still frame, decision, then another still frame. Then there's combat. I mean, this definitely felt mobile-y. If you're imagining Star Trek Bridge Commander here, then maybe stop. It's very simplified. You assign crew to stations, pick targets, and maybe hit some subsystems along the way. It really lacks the depth and that punch I'd expect from a 2025 Star Trek title. Honestly, Bridge Commander, which came out over 20 years ago, which I can't believe, I still play it occasionally now, still wipes the floor with it for space battles. The UI also looks like it's more designed for a phone than a PC, which didn't help the experience. For me, combat was probably one of the weakest parts of the demo, and it was one of the parts I was most excited for, which I think is a bit of a shame. There's also a bit of a survival side going on where you juggle energy, materials, crew morale, food, all that sort of stuff. Every decision costs something, like when you're moving across space, it's going to cost you resources, and the tension between like pushing forward a little bit or stopping to repair does work well. Like, should I go and get them resources now, or maybe come back to them, but you're not sure what's going to happen in the meantime? It actually reminded me a lot of Fallout Shelter in space. It does fit the vibe of the game, I guess, but the system will live or die depending on how well it's balanced in the full release. Up next is graphics and sound. Visually, it's fine, I guess. The space scenes look pretty good. You got the lighting, the star fields, the comic style cutscenes, but the character models, they're wooden. like mannequin in a spacesuit wouldn't. Bridge Commander somehow, and I've just been looking back at some videos to make sure I wasn't looking through rose tinted specs, looks better I think in the way it handles all the bridge shots. That came out in 2002 as I said. Performance wise, when things get busy, you'll notice a little bit of pop-in, some lower res textures, a bit of artifacting going on, but it's not too terrible. Audio-wise, the ambient sounds are nice, you've got the engine hum, bridge beeps, ships alerts, all fine, but again, no voice acting really just makes it feel a little bit empty. So in conclusion, after playing Voyager Across the Unknown demo, what's my overall thoughts on this one? Well, it's promising, I guess. There is a solid foundation here. The what-if twist and crew management idea could be brilliant, but right now, it's a bit rough around the edges. A lot of the systems seem quite shallow, no voice work with the mobile-style UI, and the pacing's a little bit slow at times as well. It didn't leave me thinking, my god, I need to buy this full game right now, but it did make me curious to see where it might go. And because Star Trek games are few and far between these days, I'll call it a good start with potential. Hopefully it becomes something special if the developers deliver on their promises. If you're a bit of a Trek fan, I think you'll get something from it. If you're not a Trek fan, I'm not entirely sure. However, it's a demo, it's free to try. Just go and download it. I'll put a link in the description if I remember. Anyways, that's all from me on this one. Don't forget to drop this video a like, hit that subscribe button for more quick reviews and VR content, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thank you for watching, and as always, engage.